Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the United States and aid and how it works, because there are definitely some questions about how it actually functions. And I feel like maybe this isn't the only person who doesn't actually understand how the finances work when the U.S. provides aid to another country. And if you're going to have a strong opinion about it, you should probably understand how it works. Okay, so here's the question. I'm just wondering how much Zelensky is paying you to encourage Americans to ship money over to him. $68 billion is money that could be better used here. I don't even understand what the money is for. We're shipping him weapons and equipment too. My brother has been working enough overtime building stuff for their war to buy a new truck. So we pay for their weapons and give them money. So what is the money for, huh? So Zelensky can buy a house or a yacht? I'm sick of shipping cash overseas. Okay. So let's start with this. The $68 billion, that is specific. That's a specific number that deals with military aid. Okay. Had you chosen one of the other numbers, this wouldn't be quite as lopsided as it's about to be. But this is specific to military aid. Okay, so I'm sick of shipping cash overseas. What do you actually think is happening? Like, this is the part about this that I don't understand. Do you actually picture people like loading pallets of money in the back of C-130s and flying it over? What do you think occurs? I'm going to give some advice here. I don't even understand. Maybe work on figuring that part out before you develop a strong opinion. My brother's been working enough overtime building stuff for their war to buy a new truck, so we pay for their weapons and give them money. So what is the money for? So Zelensky can buy a house or yacht? No, it's so your brother can buy a new truck. Out of that $68 billion number that you're using, because it is specific to military aid, almost all of it, like 90% of it, is spent in the United States. I am willing to bet almost anything your brother lives in Arizona, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, or Arkansas, because that's where the money's going. It's not being like literally shipped over. It's being used to pay people to make stuff here that is then shipped over. Your brother's new truck came out of this $68 billion, to be clear. There are other numbers. I think all in, it's probably closer to $100 billion. But even using the larger number, most of it is spent in the United States. The idea that it would be better spent here, it is being spent here. You have direct evidence in your own life of where it is being spent. If your news outlet, if the news that you consume has led you to believe that like physical currency is actually being shipped to Ukraine, you need a different outlet. This is pretty basic. This is something that definitely should have been explained during coverage, especially if they're taking the position that it isn't benefiting the United States economically. And to be clear, just using your brother's truck as an example, the money is spent in the United States, okay? And it goes to a worker, somebody who's apparently working overtime. Okay, so then they take that money and they buy a truck with it. And that truck that's somebody else's job. It generates a lot more economic activity than just the money that is spent. If you want to have an opinion about the aid, and it's one of those things where you're like, I don't believe in supporting wars, that's one thing. Okay, if you want to take a moral stance, yes, I'll tell you, morality doesn't have anything to do with foreign policy, but at least I can understand it. If you are going to take the stance of, I don't really care that the money's being spent, but it would be better spent here, and it is being spent here, that's not a moral thing. That's an information consumption thing. You do not have the information to have an opinion as strong as the one that you're holding. I mean, you're writing some random dude on YouTube suggesting that the president of another country is paying him off. So Zelensky can buy a house or yacht. No, it's for the, I'm going to guess, Dodge Ram, in your brother's driveway. That's where it ends up. And not really just there, because the people who made that truck, they spent money from it too. If that isn't being explained by the pundits who have you mad about this, they're doing it on purpose. This is a basic thing when it comes to the United States providing military aid. The money's spent here. This is something you definitely need to understand. There are more than 117 production lines right now in the United States in 31 states producing stuff for Ukraine. All of those people are getting paid. That's where it's going. Most of it is Arizona, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, and Arkansas. So, it is important to gather all of the information you need. If you're saying, I don't even understand this, start by filling in that blank before you develop a very strong opinion about something. Because you may confuse a yacht for a truck. Anyway, it's just a thought. You have a good day.